ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FTRL. It is week 4 of the Nations Cup, and this week we are coming to you from the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And for the first time this season, we are deviating away from the Group 3 and Group 4 cars, and the drivers this week will be tackling the circuit in the Red Bull X 2014 Junior car. A car designed specially for the Gran Turismo series. It's been around for a couple of games now, and they are racing on their home track here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. So last time out, Team Germany took the victory for the first time in the series, ending the two-win victory streak of Team France. Team UK though came a oh-so-close second, came close to victory on home soil. The mighty Iggy, pushing blue flag hard, but blue flag taking the victory for Team Germany. What was a terrific battle and some great battles up and down the field. So can that good form continue, or will we see France return to the top, or will we finally see one of the other nations taking victory tonight? So a little bit different obviously, so the drivers this week have been allowed to devise their own liveries, so it'll be a little bit different to the norm, but we'll go through them as they come around and see who's put the effort into making something sleek to look at. I'm about to begin, so without further ado, let the action commence. We'll flick down as they leave on track and look at everybody's livery. There, one of the Team Germany cars, because he came P3 last time out. Good battle there with Iggy. Unfortunately, a mistake late on robbed him of the chance to make it a 1-2. But solid points for Team Germany there. A nice chrome there with the German flag colours as well. Nice livery there. Also for Leeds, of course, the German in the Team United Kingdom car. They've all their cars have been sharing the same livery tonight. They're in the British Racing Green, which as a motor racing fan, and I'm sure a lot of you are, will appreciate that touch there. All designed by the mighty Iggy. He is a bit of a pro when it comes to liveries, and he's done an excellent job there on the cars there. British Racing Green with the leading jack there on the engine cover behind the drivers. T. Smith, then winner of the opening 2 salvos in the Team France car. Of course, they've got the livery creator extraordinaire himself, Mr. Junkie Sport, in the team. There he is, running just behind Tom, in fact. And you can see there that he's done their cars and they're looking splendid as always. Switch back then for Team Japan. The red and white one there. So that's right on the track at the moment. So Aaron then will be the first one to set a flying lap, attacking the first corner, getting a very squirrely there as he over the curbs. These cars are very similar to Group 4 cars in terms of power and speed. But they do have an absolute shed load of grip. Big area on these cars, so you really can throw into the corners. If anybody managed to tune into some of the pre-season events we had, these cars racing around Sardegna, and they were a lot of fun. A lot of the drivers enjoying driving these cars. Around turn 3, it's down the hill then towards this tricky braking zone. Turn 4, get onto the curb on the left hand side, swoops in for the apex. Using all the road out to the curb on the exits around this right kink. I don't know if this counts as turn 5 or then into 2 left-handers on the circuit. Turn 6, onto the curb on the outside. Swoop through for turn 7. Looking nice, using some of the curb on exit. All looking good so far for Aaron. Over the crest, back into view, the downhill braking zone. Very fast right-hander. 100 miles an hour still through that one in these cars. Short blast down to the final corner. Drops away a little bit out to the curb on the outside. And our first flying lap to United Kingdom is a 1:30.8. And the frame just picked up on it. Zommer picked up a penalty as well, so the lap times will not count. CJ goes fastest. Ross for Team France has popped into P3. Oh, Zom's clipped the curb and he's gone for a spin. he was racing in GT2 last Thursday here. It was a lot wetter that time though. Got caught out there by the curves in the dry. Steve Smith now has taken over at the top, so the first flying lap's coming through. P. Smith fastest, 2/10 of a second ahead of CJ, 4/10 of a second ahead of Aaron, so Aaron of course we still have a big moment there, so there's probably some time in his lap. I think he'll be looking to push on a little bit more. Switch back P4. Team Japan, so 4 nations in the top 4 places. Waiting for Team America, for Team USA to get up there. America, yeah. P5 from P6, blue flag. Winner last time out. Picked up a couple of seconds of penalty though, so we'll have to get rid of that. He's just ahead of his Team Germany teammates. So Felice, he can down in 10th at the moment now. I think he'll be looking to kick on a little bit. Any of the American cars, and we've got Pagani Deluxe 13th or 14th at the moment, so got the wrong end there. Pagani has gone for maximum level of cringe. There's his decals. There's Mighty Ig, comes very wide there across the corner. And wide again through the final corner, probably picking up a penalty. Does indeed. Validators, Iggy has now gone fastest for Team United Kingdom, displacing T. Smith and Team France. Ragged at the moment, still going round. And he has said he doesn't really enjoy driving the single seaters in this game, so we'll have to see if he can manage to improve on his lap times. Although he's going for a spin out the first corner as well. A lot of grip, but these cars are biting some of the drivers. Second person they're going for a spin at turn 1. Team UK then, Iggy leading the way. So he led for a good part of the race last week. For a good battle with CJ over P2. Did home in on the race leader at the end there, but I think blue flag had it under control. He just had to get rid of a penalty at the end. But if a couple more laps and we could have seen a real intense scrap for the win. What can they do this week though? All leaving everybody in the same car. Different are the liveries. I think he goes faster again by half a second, opening that gap up now to 6/10 over T. Smith. He's coming into the final corner now. Going a little bit wide over the curves there, lost a little bit of speed. I don't think I'll get a penalty for it though, but he improves and goes fastest by half a second. So T. Smith finding a lot of time there. Ross has gone up to P3, so that's 2 Team France cars in the top 3. CJ now P4 for Team Germany. Here he comes out the final corner. Can he improve? He does. He goes up to P3. But he in 3rd place is 1.1 seconds off pole position there. That is a cracking lap from T. Smith. The Team France car. And throw now P5. Has to hook up a lap. Flag P6, Aaron down to P7, head off, switch back, also Felice in P9, Rom in P10 for Team Japan, Junkie Sport P11, Zom in P12, and still the 2 Team USA cars lacking at the back of the grid. He will be eager to get himself up into the mix. Led the charge for Team USA so far. He is significantly up on this lap, so this should see him jump up the order and stay on board with him as he comes through to the final couple of corners. Probably getting a bit of a slipstream there off Team Germany's car, blue flag. That'll help him. Ross has just retaken P3. He went a little bit further up the road. Running out the final corner now into the slipstream. He does a 1:30.3, that's enough for P6, so big jump up there from him. Flying from Team Japan down to P7. Unfortunately looks like we're down the Team USA course. Lennon's internet has decided to have a cry. So just the 2 USA cars for this week, hopefully he'll be sorted for next week. extra emphasis on Pagani to bring home the big points for them this week. So 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes of qualifying left. It's Team France that lead the way. T. Smith went over the opening 2 rounds. Leading the way, Iggy though, for Team GB. He's 4 thousandths down on this lap through the middle sector. Can he find anything in that final sector? There's a big gap there he's got to close on T. Smith, almost half a second. Oh, the track. It's nice that he's diving in some fresh tyres. I expect that everybody will be using the super soft tyres in these cars. Very light on their tyres, so you can use the super softs throughout the race. Crossing behind him, he's in P3. CJ P4, so it's Team France from Team United Kingdom. Team France again in P3 ahead of Team Germany, who are again 4th and 5th. Team USA P6, the lead. Team Japan car P7, flying Frome. Taking the fight to Team France at the top of the standings, but Team Germany have really thrown themselves into the mix with good results in their home Grand Prix in round 2. And then last time out with 1st and 3rd positions. Zom also brought home P10, so all 3 cars in the points last week, throwing themselves into the mix. Aaron is P7 for Team United Kingdom. The switchback going out of the pits with a fresh set of tyres. Team Japan P9, unsafe release for Team UK is P10, so all of the UK cars inside the top 10. At the moment, Rom just dispossessed of P11, he's down to P12 now for Team Japan. We have Junkie Sport in the Team France car. And Zom now P14, it was Deluc who's jumped up to P8, so both the USA cars now into the top 8. Deluc they're hooking up nice lap there, 30.6. Got to be the 3/10 of his team leader. There's now a massive fly buzzing around my room, and that's going to annoy me. How have you got in? Who sent you? Why are you doing this to me? So into the final minute and 3 seconds to go, so one more flying lap for everybody now. Keep an eye on the top 2 or 3, they're all running fairly close together. Iggy will be the first one to cross the line then. Can CJ or blue flag in the Team Germany upset the apple cart? The moment Team France on for those 2 points for pole position. What can Iggy do? He's 2/10 down in the first sector. Flying Frome improves to P4. Good luck there from him. Puts the Team Japan car on the second row. Bumps Team Germany down to row 3. So Iggy is down at the moment. Flat. This lap, in fact, he also got the second fastest on 29.3 last time around, so he's flying in these cars. Iggy in the middle sector is down to 4/10, and I don't think he's going to improve, so he's not going to worry T. Smith. Megotron the Shat is 6/10 down. He too looks like to be struggling. T. Smith is up, so not only is he already half a second up, he's going even faster. He could be into the 128 with this lap. There's a yellow flag, the final sector. Got a car off at the final corner. Will it distract T. Smith over the curves? Gets a little bit of a kick up there on one of those sausage curbs. He drives for the line and improves by 2/10 of a second, 2.5 of a second. That's a huge gap now. Blue flag has picked up a penalty. He will not improve. Unsafe release, meanwhile, has popped himself into P3, so Team UK is 2nd and 3rd. However, Flying Frome finds a bit of time on his final lap, 29.6. Puts himself back into P3, pushes unsafe release down to P4. See, across the line does not improve. The look is not going to improve either. Tom, I think, has had it off somewhere. Looks like there was a collision somewhere between him and Deluc. We've got Agent Panda reckons that Pagani for the win. Well, we shall see. Early corner, so qualifying out the way, and Team France take pole position by 0.7 of a second. That is a huge gap. So what can everybody do in the race? Let's get some predictions in, boys. Who do you think's going to win this one? There's your grid. France leading, UK leading, Japan, UK again. France, America, Germany, Japan. Your top 8. Revs are up. 32 laps. I'll go. Fairly good getaway from everybody. Aaron making some moves in the background. Iggy's cut off Frome on the run up to turn 1. So Philly's down the inside trying to get P3. Going to go side by side behind the Pagani and Ross. Looking to get in on this as well. T. Smith with a clean getaway. Look at the lead he's got already. Top 2 broken away quite substantially there in the first corner. Oh, contact there with Onso Felice and Frome. That's like Pagani up into P4. They're already up 2 places. Got CJ and Ross side by side a little bit further back as well. Come down then to turn 4 for the first time. Frome P3. Pagani defending from Onso Felice, trying to go around the outside. Pagani forces him out to the edge of the trap. Onso Felice trying to keep his nose in. Up on the inside for the next corner. Sends it down the inside. Pagani trying to sweep around the outside. Keep the speed up, bit of contact side by side. Getting wobbly on the curbs. I did it again. Sweeps around the outside in the second left-hander and holds on to P4. Great driving there from those two. Unsafe. Tucks back into P5. P6 is CJ up a place or 2 already. Ross has gone backwards. He's down to P7. Tucked under the wing of the Team Germany car. He's got blue flag right under him. Aaron up to P9. And a switchback. Rom. Junkie Sport Deluxe. And Zom. P14 at the moment. At the end of the first lap, Team France lead. T. Smith, a lot of curve there. Gets his car jumping. Runs a little bit wide. But Iggy's on the grass behind him, so Iggy's having an even bigger moment. And crucially, he has dropped out of slipstream range already. That could be exactly what T. Smith needs to break away. A big moment there for Iggy. Got on the curb, spat him off to the inside. We saw it with a couple of guys in qualifying. Now caught out Iggy in the race. CJ unsafe side by side for P5. Out of turn 3. So Felice has got the drive on the outside. And holds on to the position for now. Blue flag down the inside. With Aaron. And way through for Aaron this time. Tucks back onto the rear wing. You've got 2 of the Team Japan cars behind him, Switchback and Rom. Tyres squealing. The race leader now 2.3 seconds ahead after only 2 laps. So T. Smith looking to make a break. Oh, carrying a lot of speed, goes very wide there through the penultimate corner. And wide again through the final corner. Moves up to the grass as he comes back on the circuit there. So a little error there from T. Smith. He's picked up a penalty. 29.7. It's a quick lap. Iggy going defensive down the start finish straight there. Trying to break the toe from Frome. Just okay this time. Trying to get through Pagani a bit wide on Sefley's curb. Ross has got Aaron tucked under his wing, into his slipstream. He's past blue flag. And now gets a run up the straight through 2. This kink is now turn 2 apparently. It's not corner at all, is it? Aaron's got the inside now for turn 3. And over takes Ross. Oh, contact further back there. Blue flag coming in hot. Makes contact with Ross. Switchback and Rom. Looking very interested in the background. And then Deluxe, Junkie Sport and Zom doing battle. Your race leader is still T. Smith, Team France. 2 seconds now the lead. He's lost a couple of tenths to the chasing pack. Led by Team United Kingdom driver Iggy. Frome in P3. These 3 were the 3 who broke up. I don't know the word. the 3 breakaway. T. Smith was not really involved in the battle for the win last week. Veyron, France's sort of a weaker car, they've got that one out of the way. P6 last week then, so the streak was broken. So Felice has now got a bit of a gap. CJ's opened a bit of a gap up to Aaron, who's pushed Ross, and he's now giving chase. So all Team United Kingdom cars in the top 7. Good point scoring lead if they can hang on to this. Megatron on the shut there, picking up a penalty out of the final corner, as did Switchback, as did Rom. We've got Deluxe trying to bridge that gap, holding off Junkie Sport and Zom at the moment. T. Smith has just opened that gap up again a little bit, 2.2 seconds now on lap 4. So on 8th race distance, already in the books. So the fastest lap of the race last time I was around the 29.6, so already well into the 29s. Into the 29.8, so the 2 tenths that he lost that lap. Got battle now going on for P4. Piccolini's got unsafe release closing back in, and he's bringing CJ with him. These 3 slides into the left-hander. There's only 2 left-handers on this circuit, proper anyway. Obviously you've got turn 2, which is technically a left-hander, but most drivers would just consider that a slight kink in the straight. Gap between CJ in P6, Aaron P7, standing at 2.4 seconds at the moment then, so let's see, keep an eye on that gap to see if he can bridge over. Get on terms with the battle for the podium places. Oh, that was Ross having a big slide out the final corner, and blue flag sweeps around the outside. So once they get on the curb, the car tries to spit him out, gallows it all up. You see these cars don't like those big curbs, very wobbly. And Rom has overtaken his teammate a little bit further back. He's up into P10, now gives chase. Deluxe closing in behind them as well. Aaron, I think, had a bit of a moment out of turn 1. He has dropped back towards blue flag. He's also lost a bit of time to unsafe release, who had been overtaken by CJ for P5. He's trying to come back at him now. CJ's gone defensive. Safe trying to sweep around the outside. Can he cut back on the inside, get the run? Not quite yet. These 4, or these 3 rather, P4 just dropping off the back a little bit of Froome and Iggy. Flying Froome meanwhile sets a fastest sector, and he took the fastest lap last time, 29.3. So Froome finding some pace in the race, and they are closing on T. Smith. 29.9 on the last lap, 29.5 from Iggy, 29.3 from Froome, so that gap for the lead down to 1.6. Just outside of slipstream range. Pagani pits at the end of lap 5, so he's on a certain strategy. Different to everybody else. He's going to try and get himself some clean air. Well, he had clean air anyway, so if anything now, he's going to drop himself into the traffic. But he's clearly got a strategy in mind. He can come out just behind his teammates. Just had Junkie Sport, who's running a bit wide through the first corner. Apart from the lead, 1.3 seconds now. Iggy will be getting the draft from the Team France car. So battle is on. See, now closing down the straight, 1.2 seconds. So just push that gap out to Froome to 1.6. So actually he's managed to get out of slipstream range of flying Froome. 29.4 on the last lap. Froome the 29.6. T. Smith the 29.8. So he took 4 tenths out of him. He's got within slipstream range. T. Smith having a good middle sector. Iggy is fastest of all through the middle sector. For P4 between CJ and unsafe release. Aaron has regrouped and set about chasing down unsafe release again. He's pulled about a second back on those 2. Clear blue flag. And switch back behind them. Look. Pagani. Oh, Ross is off. He's on the gravel. It's an odd place to have an off. That's got on the curbs, and that's dropped him all the way down to P14. So a big moment for Ross, drops him out at the points. As the battle for the lead continues to close, it's now just over a second. So Iggy in the slipstream range now. That's pulling him towards the race leader. It's now under a second in fact, so he is on the charge. Frome has dropped back to the tune of 2 seconds now. But keeping a watching brief, any mistake and he will be on these two. Further back, CJ continues to hold off unsafe release. These two nose to tail. The Brit in the Team Germany car and the German in the Team United Kingdom car. A little bit further back, Aaron still trying to get over there. 2.8 seconds the gap at the moment. He's got a bit of clear track though, so he's not under any pressure from behind. Blue flag coming in there, very hot. Right on the edge of the circuit, but these cars have got plenty of grip, so manages to hang on to it. Team Japan cars, 8th and 9th. Switchback and Rom have switched places again. Pagani now ahead of his teammates. The Team USA cars nose to tail as well, in 10th and 11th. Jockey Sport trying to close the gap. Zombies in P13 and recovering Ross, P14. Back to the lead battle. It's down to 7/10 of a second now. Iggy just chipping away. 1/4 race distance. T. Smith, it's a personal best in the first sector. Slightly better run out that corner as well, just hoping that sends up that gap up a couple of tenths. And the slipstream starts to take effect and Iggy's starting to come back at him again. So toing and throwing at the moment. Frome has now dropped back to nearly 3 seconds. That is now 3 seconds there, so Frome not able to hack the pace at the front at the moment. We'll come back to him later on. Good battle still for P4. CJ and unsafe release, nose to tail. Got behind is also maintaining. So the third of the Team United Kingdom cars of Aaron not able to close in. Hanging on to P6 though. I've got a big gap back to Blue Flags now, 5 seconds, so I don't know if Blue Flags had a moment somewhere. He's got both Team Japan cars right under his rear wing. Pagani closing as well. Again, he's had a bit of a moment there at the final corner. It's a poor run. Switch back into the slipstream. Can he have a look at the inside into one? Thinks better of it. He's going to go for a late move. No, he's going to stay in the slipstream for now. Oh, blue flag over the curbs. Bit neatly and tighter from Rom and switch back. Blue flag's kept his pace up well though. He has picked up a penalty there, I think. Excessive track limits. Switchback not close enough at the moment. Stays where he is, although a lot more corner speed there. That's going him right onto the tail of blue flag. Leonard making a point there. Pagani needs to make quick work of these guys, otherwise his undercut is not going to work. So it'd be beneficial to him to have a slipstream. But like you say, if these guys are battling, he's not going to be optimising his fresh tyres, although you can see after 9 laps, Switchback's car has not a lot of tyre wear. So these cars are very good on their tyres, so I don't know how much benefit there is in a undercut around here. So on his lap time, as you can see, he was in the 29, he's in sort of low 30s, he did get a 29.4. Slipped back into the 30s last time around, but he's now right on the back of Rom. Aaron pits from P6, so he blinks as well. Meanwhile, battle for the lead is As You Were. Iggy sitting about 7/10 back from T. Smith. Oh, he's very wide out of the turn 3, hops over the curb. It's going to lost him a couple of tenths there. to slipstream down the straights to just pull himself back onto the tail of the Team France car, but just keeping a watching brief at the moment. It's not being close enough to look at a move. Frome hanging on as well, so a bit of a lonely race for Frome at the moment. A bit further back, CJ has now got a bit of a gap to Unsafe Release, so I don't know if Unsafe has had a moment somewhere. Well, CJ just got the hammer down. He did a 29.6 and a 29.5. Unsafe Release with 31.0 and a 30.2, so scruffy lap there on lap 8. That's probably where that gap's come from. He's in a safe P5 at the moment. Battle for the leader's just opened up a little bit there. Iggy's had a bit of a scruffy lap here, I think. T-Smith T-Smith does a 29 flat. Iggy 29.5, lost half a second. Still just on the cusp of slipstream. T-Smith there. Oh, big moment for Iggy. Cut that curve on the inside. That might be a penalty. Is indeed half a second. Shouldn't have any issue getting rid of that. Has allowed him though to just close it all top. T-Smith with a bit of a wiggle there through turn 3. Got on the power. Red Bull cars are very sensitive. Like a wobble. Not able to close it. In fact, he's dropping back even more. He's now nearly 4 seconds in arrears. So Frome on for a very lonely race at the moment. CJ also in a lonely race in P4, so the gap's kind of opening up a little bit now. We've still got a battle going on here. Blue flag leading the train. Switch back in close attendance. Rom's gone a little bit hot there, further back. He's out of the gravel though. Pagani's not been able to get on terms with Rom yet. See the consistency of lap times 30.2, 30.4, 30.4. In fact, these last two laps within 0.003 of a second of each other, so he's on target for something similar this lap as well at the moment, so he's been consistent. What can he do? Run ahead of him. A good run through a couple of corners here. Switchback's had a bit of a moment. He's dropped off the back of blue flag. He's now got Rom right under his rear wing. Pagani in tow as well. Aaron after his pit stop is P10 with Junkie Sports company. What can you do? Oh, Junkie Sports got straight on at turn 1. Completely misses braking point into the runoff area. He's back on the track and he's on his way again. Ross in P12 and Deluxe P13. Looks like we've lost some, unfortunately. For the lead, still 7/10 between first and second. These two inseparable. Frome keeping a watching brief, 3.6 seconds back in P3. Close enough to have a look for the race lead. On to lap 13, so approaching half distance, which does suggest this is going to be a one-stop race for a lot of these guys. Half a tank of fuel at the moment. Iggy. Tom even more, in fact he's got even more fuel, so despite leading and punching a hole, T-Smith doing very well on his fuel, which will help him at the pit stop. He is closer than he's ever been. Gap opens up again under acceleration. He'll then reel it back in down the straights. Steady. CJ in a very lonely P4 at the moment for the Team Germany man. Unsafe release. P5, a little bit wide there on the curb. So the blue flag has managed to drop the chasing pack a little bit, switch back. Getting away from Rob again though. He's trying to close that gap down. He's just on the cusp of slipstream. Although blue flag has had a better run through that complex of corners there. Just open it up again, Pagani on the tail of Rob now. Can he find a way through? So Pagani picking them off at blue flag pits from P7. It's P6, sorry, don't I? So look at the fuel. Say Zach, for example, is on lap 14, so he's got 13 laps out of his tank, half a tank of fuel, which would mean he could do 26 on a full tank. There's only another 8, so yeah, we're definitely in the zone for all the pit stops. So some guys going off track. Pagani takes P7 from Ron finally, gets a good run out of turn 1 up the hill in the slipstream and overtakes the Team Japan man. Looking to quickly close in on switchback. Because I've lost the slipstream of blue flag ahead of him, who's pitted. Aaron has come out. Oh, he's come out behind Aaron. So Aaron has jumped blue flag after the pit stop. Sport 11, Ross recovering in P12. Still as you were for the lead. Iggy very wide there through the final corner. That'll be a penalty. He's racked 1.5 seconds of penalty now, so we'll need to start bleeding that off. Behind them, flying through, has just started to chip away at this gap. It's now down to 3 seconds again. 29.2, 29.4 the last couple of laps, so he's been taking time out of Iggy and of T. Smith. So he's just starting to make a little bit of progress now. So we'll have to keep an eye on that gap. Still the lead 2 separated by 0.7 of a second. So I think it's been like this for most of the race, this gap. So closing down the straight, gets it down to 0.6, almost about half a second now. And through the... Oh, T. Smith a little bit wide there. It's going to cost him some time. He's closing in. Sweep through the left-handers. Gap opens up a little bit in this middle sector. We're not getting the benefit of the slipstream so much. If anything, it's actually going to be a bit of a hindrance. Have that dirty air. Then you see as the back onto the straight bits, Iggy just starts to close in again. So really what he needs to do is T. Smith pits, late decision. In he goes. So T. Smith has pulled the trigger just before half distance. Just under half a tank of fuel. He'll fill it all the way up. No, he has not. He's gone to about 2/3 of a tank to get him to the end. He's going to come out in P4. So CJ just slips past. Switchback pits. So it's going to be interesting to see Pagani, for example. He stopped on lap 5, so he went early. So it looks as if he's been on a 2-stop strategy. Don't know. If we can get 27 laps out of him, might be a bit of a stretch. It's not impossible. My concern will be his tyres. You can see there's not a lot of wear on CJ's. For example, he's done 16 laps on his. Pagani going to the end is going to have done 27 as T. Smith drops it on the exit of turn 4. That could be critical. He's no longer got the slipstream from CJ, so a mistake from T. Smith. Iggy is bleeding his penalty down. Frome is closing as well. The gap between the top 2 down, and again another couple of tenths. As Iggy responds. He's into the pits this time. Frome will carry on, so Frome's carrying on. So Iggy pits, CJ coming in as well from P3. T. Smith out of the final corner. Where is he going to come out in relation to Iggy after that moment? Where is Iggy's on his way. I think Iggy's going to have jumped him here. Oh no, right behind him now though. So despite that moment, T. Smith has got away with it. And he retains what will be a net P1. Frome has carried on. He's going to be a little bit longer. Spent less time in the pits. Fresher tyres towards the end. He was just chipping away at the lead too. You can see that T. Smith has actually gained time despite that moment. So Iggy needs to get his head down, get his tyres up to temperature and see what he can do about closing that gap again. But these two were fairly constant in that gap. As we saw, Iggy has now lost the slipstream benefit, so T. Smith is up on the fastest lap. Iggy currently holds up with a 28.8. T. Smith just went 3/10 faster, nearly 4/10 faster, so we'll stay on board with him. He's got the hammer down. Frome pits from the lead. So where is he going to filter out? Attacks the final couple of corners. Just a bit of the curb. And T. Smith with a 28.4. That is a fast lap from T. Smith. Frome on his way. There's the race leader on the outside. There is Iggy. That's the pit lane, and away he goes. Pagani in P4. This is where he was before the pit stop started. He's got CJ behind him, as he was. They had unsafe release between them when Pagani pitted at the end of lap 5. He has come out in P6. Let's close that gap a little bit to CJ. Aaron in P7. Still chasing down that top 6. Blue flag with switchback, not too far behind him. The gap has opened up a little bit though between these three from in P10. Ross has recovered to P11. Ahead of Deluc and Junkie Sport, who seems to have had a moment somewhere. He's dropped behind Deluc. Deluc now holds on to the final point. Meanwhile at the front, T. Smith. Gap now 2.1 seconds. So that fastest lap for last time around. He's still pushing hard. 28.4. This will be Iggy's first flying lap on his tyres. What can he do? So T. Smith this time round does. 28.9. Iggy does. 28.9 as well. So just 7 thousandths per second between those two lap times. Oh, Iggy's clipped that curb on the inside, gone a little bit wide. T. Smith picked up a penalty, he ran wide as well. There's one each. Frome is going a lonely P3 at the moment. So despite taking a bit of time out of the top 2, just before the pit stop, hasn't quite been able to use that time he was gaining through the pit stop, also having to stop for less time. But still within touching distance, so if anything goes wrong ahead of him, he'll be in this fight. Iggy a little bit wide there through turn 4. That gap has opened up now to 2.9, nearly 3 seconds, so that's a mistake from Iggy. T. Smith pushing on. Find out where the battles are at the moment. Everybody has one. CJ closing in on Pagani. These two seemingly inseparable on this game in both the Nations and in GT1. So fully trying to close in Aaron. So all Team UK cars in the top 7. 2nd, 6th and 7th at the moment. It's good points for them. Didn't quite maximise their double points week last week. Iggy got P2. Unsafe he's got solid points. Aaron just, I think he did round off the points scoring positions, so did take some home for Team UK. That will close the gap to the guys at the top. Switch back. ahead of Blue Flag. So Blue Flag's had a moment somewhere. 1:37.8 that lap, so he's had an off somewhere. And has dropped back behind the two Team Japan cars. So Rom up to P8, switch back P9. Blue Flag down to P10. Ross is in the pit. Team France is going to come out right alongside Junkie Sport. And good luck. It goes past. Ross drops in just behind him. Race lead is now 3.3. T. Smith really getting the hammer down. 28.4, 28.9, 28.9 in the last three laps, with Iggy the 29.3, 28.9, 29.9. So he lost a second on that lap with that mistake. This time T. Smith does a 28.9 again. Iggy with a 29.1. Frome with a 28.6. So he is now homing in on P2. Got a bit of a penalty to get rid of. Should bleed off fairly easily. The back gap has opened up there between Pagani in P4, Team USA, and CJ with a 31.6 on lap 19, so he's had a moment somewhere. Open that gap up to 2.1 seconds, and unsafe release. You can just see there in the background, Team UK car closing in again a little bit. Aaron not far behind it. Gap's opening up now. Rom is starting to pull away from his teammates a little bit. Blue Flag recovering at the moment. They look Ross down to P12, trying to give chase. P13 for Junkie Sport. Lost a little bit of time on Iggy this lap. See what lap time he does this time. 29.2 for the race leader. 29 flat for Iggy. Frome with a 28.7, so Flying Frome is living up to his name, and he is flying. 28.7 that time around. So a bit of a moment there through the first corner there. It's lost him a bit of time. I think T. Smith has as well, because that gap is now under 3 seconds as Iggy does the fastest first sector of all. Goes there as he gets rid of the end of his penalty. So tactical battle going on between the top three. Pieces are moving around. At the moment nobody's in a position to strike. 10 laps to go, plus the one that they are on. It is as you were, Team France, lead Team UK, lead Team Japan. In fact, we've got all 5 nations in the top 5 places, with Team USA in P4 and Team Germany P5, so every nation in the top 5 at the moment. And that part for P4 is closing up again. CJ has got his head down. 29.6 last time, so took 0.8 of a second out of Pagani's lead. Can he get back on terms in the battle for P4? A big gap from Pagani to Frome's 14 seconds between P4 and P3, so the podium looks fairly sorted for who's going to stand on it, barring a very big moment for somebody ahead. For P4, he's closing now 0.8 of a second, that gap is closing. Safe release, still in touch as well, as is Aaron, whose penalty is bigger than the gap that is to the car ahead at the moment. 2.9 seconds. On to P8, switch back P9. Blue Flag rounds off the top 10 at 34.2 on that lap from Blue Flag. He's had another moment somewhere. So these cars have got a lot of grip, but they can let go. They do bite. We saw it in qualifying. A couple of guys spinning. Slide's had a moment somewhere. Look in a fairly solid P11. Two Team France cars are squabbling over that final point at the moment. battle for the lead is down to 1.4 seconds. T. Smith has had a moment somewhere. He's lost a second on this lap. Iggy is back within slipstream range then. 10 to go. 9 after this lap. 29.7 for T. Smith, so not a bad lap, but 28.6 from Iggy. So that's why he's gaining and still coming. Oh, he's wide though through one, has to go over the curbs. 28.8 from Frome, so he too is closing on T. Smith there. 1.1 seconds Iggy took out of T. Smith's lead that lap, and now he's right back in slipstream range. It's not the best lap from Tom. And the battle for the lead is back on again. And Frome still chipping away as well. He's not out of this. The fourth is hurrying up as well because Unsafe Release is continuing to close. CJ's got the slipstream there, so that'll just pull him away a little bit, so Unsafe has got to make some time up in the corners. 1.7 seconds back at the moment, he's just outside of slipstream range. Aaron in the background, bit of a lonely race for him. Team Japan cars have got together again. Rom's had a moment, that lap is 3 seconds on lap 1:33.7 against the 1:30.1, so Rom's had a big moment somewhere. Held on to position though. Trying the battle for the lead. Going around to complete lap 24. 3/4 of the race done. 28.9 from T. Smith, better lap. 28.6 from the man giving chase. Iggy continues to close within half a second now. Again wide through turn one though. It's giving him a good run. I'll pick up a penalty for that probably. But indeed. He is now within striking distance of the race leader. Does he make a move? Not this time. Bleeds his penalty off. He is now right on the back of the Team France car. It's Team France versus Team UK. Flying Frome trying to get there. He's on fresher tyres than the two ahead of him by a lap. A lap better than Iggy. 2 laps better than T. Smith's. Just can't get close enough the slipstream. 28.5 on that lap, so it was quicker again. Needs a little bit more just to get there. Change for P4. CJ has inherited P4, but this battle is not over. You can see the Pagani's tyres quite a lot more wear on them after his early stop. He's hanging on, this car very light on its tyres, so minimal tyre wear. Pagani's drifting through the left-hander there. So if he's a little bit wide in the background, he's still just outside of slipstream range. It's about 1.5 seconds. Pagani's throwing it over the curves there. He is really pushing. P4, best of the rest, is very much on. Oh, he's had a big wobble through turn one. He's in the wall, in fact. A big moment there, that's going to cost him 3 or 4 tenths. T. Smith pulling away. And that's let Frome close up about half a second last time round. Lap times 1:28.9 for the race leader. 29.2 for Iggy, so we lost a little bit of time there. 28.8 for Frome, so again another couple of tenths off. He is chipping away, but he's only got 6 laps to get there. He needs the 2 ahead of him to start battling more than anything. Hanging on to P4, Unsafe Release is now within slipstream range, so we've now got 3 in the battle for P4. And he's not been able to get there, but he is in a very secure P7. Rom and Switchback have just come apart a little bit. Switchback's had a moment somewhere a couple of laps ago. Flag in P10 to look P11. Junkie Sport is now ahead of Ross, so Ross has had another moment somewhere. For the lead now, 4 tenths of a second. He's got the magnets on now. Now is the time to push and attack. T. Smith picks up another penalty for the final corner. It's only half a second though, that will probably bleed off quite easily at turn 3. Again, into the slipstream he comes. Can he get close enough at the end of the straight to have a move? He's closing, closing, closing. Again, a purple first sector out using the slipstream from T. Smith. Not close enough to make a move still. And Frome still chipping away. It's now under 2 seconds to P3, so gap is closing. CJ's making a break in the battle for P4, and unsafe release has got ahead of Pagani, so Pagani's had a moment somewhere. Unsafe release has got through off camera. He's up into P5, so Pagani's tyres, which are put on lap 5. He's just struggling a little bit now with that car. Frome still closing on the top 2. He's not able to find a way back. They're not battling yet. He's not been close enough to try a move. P. Smith then misses the apex for the penultimate corner. That will let Iggy close in. So again, it's as close as he's been. But turn 1's not really a great overtaking opportunity. So what he needs to do is have a good run out of here, up the hill into turn 3. T. Smith puts the curb, bit of a wobble on. Iggy looked a bit smoother. He's closest. This is the closest he's been. 4 to go. T. Smith has to go defensive for the first time. Iggy on the outside. He's ahead on them at the moment. They're going to go side by side through the corner. Iggy's going to sweep around the outside. He's up on the curb. Gets his nose in front. T. Smith trying to side draft. In fact, he's through. Iggy through into the lead. So a change for the lead. And now it's Iggy's turn to go defensive. There's T. Smith. Oh, contact! T. Smith swoops around the outside. I think he just clipped the gravel there. More contact. And all this has brought Frome right into play. So there is now less than a second covering the top 3. 4 laps to go. And the battle for the lead is on. But it's no longer just T. Smith versus Iggy. Flying Frome is here as well. So can Team France pick up their 3rd win of the season, or will Team UK or Team Japan pick up their 1st? Frome was runner-up in both the opening races. 4th last time out. Iggy's first race for Team United Kingdom last time brought a P2. He's looking to go one better. Frome's had a good run out the final corner. He's down the inside. He's not close enough. Tucks back in. Oh, both lead 2 run wide. Clip that curb on the inside. T. Smith's got a good run. Is he going to go defensive? He holds the racing line. Is T. Smith going to look up the inside? Goes a little bit defensive. T. Smith trying to get a run around the outside. He's got a little bit deep. He's going to get a good punch off the corner. Frome keeping watching brief behind. Covered by just 7/10 of a second. Looking a little bit further back, that gap has opened up. Nothing much happening further down, so we're going to keep it back. Oh, Iggy's gone wide! And Frome leads! Oh, there's been contact, Frome's let them through. There's been some contact somewhere, which we've missed. Fortunately, sorry about that, just making sure nothing else was happening. Don't want to leave everybody out, and have missed some drama for the lead. Suggests that perhaps they went 3 wide into turn 4, because T. Smith and Frome slowed down. So we start the final 3 laps, lap 30. 1.2 seconds covering the top 3. Iggy's made a bit of a break there after the other 2 let him back through. Smith a little wide there through 1. Over the curb. Now his turn to do some chasing. Iggy's picked up a penalty. T. Smith picked up a penalty. Out till the end, I think. It seems to have spread out. Continues to lead, 9/10 of a second the gap. He's coming down the straight there. T Smith in the slipstream, Frome in his slipstream. 1.2 covers the top three. And they get back on terms with the United Kingdom car. So swoop through the left hands, Frome slightly tighter line. T Smith using the curb, swinging out wide. These cars obviously not the most powerful, so corner speed is their sort of key strength. Iggy now opening that gap at 1.2 seconds. He's had a good run through the middle part of the lap this time. T Smith has got Frome in his mirrors. That distracting him slightly. He's a bit hot into the final corner, gone a little bit wide. Iggy's picked up a penalty from the final corner, as does T Smith. But again, these penalties are dropping off penultimate lap now. So 2 to go. And Iggy is your race leader. The curb hopping again through turn 1. He's getting that gap at 1.3 seconds now. And now does T Smith start to call those back in a little bit. Now he's right on the edge of the slipstream. Iggy, you can see he's on the red line. So these guys tight on fuel. Frome is fine on fuel. He's still in the white. How tight are the top two on fuel? He looks like he's got enough. But we shall see. Coming down a little bit now. Does he need to do some saving on this penultimate and final lap? Right, quick run down. CJ and obviously Felice have closed up. Not battling Pagani in a lonely P6. Aaron closing. We're on P8. Switchback P9. Blue flag P10. Zillock at P11. Junkie Sport and Megatron rounding off the 12th and 13th positions. Coming around to start the final lap. That gap is still 1.3 seconds. Iggy looks like he's got this done, barring drama. Of course, with the GT2 race here on Thursday last week, we saw some final lap drama. However, it was a lot wetter, but there were 3 battling for it then. Once again, Frome getting a good run out the final corner. Does he look up the inside into the first corner? He does. Just trying to distract though, slots back in. T Smith hits the curb again quite hard. This time, final lap of the race. Iggy has picked up a penalty from the first corner, as does T Smith. Frome had one already. That probably should bleed off into this corner. Yep, there we go. P2 very much on. He holding that gap at 1.3. These two can really afford to relax, so fuel lights are flashing for both. Frome's now also flashing. He's looking into 4. He's down the inside. Contact at the apex. But Frome gets the move done. So Frome up into P2. He's got it done. I don't think T Smith's got anything to come back at him with. Iggy now out of slipstream range, though. It looks as if this one is now barring any dramas in the last couple of corners. Through the penultimate corner, okay. Through the final corner, no dramas, and Team UK will pick up their first victory of the Nations Cup. Team Japan come home P2, Team France P3. Great battle between those 3 once again. CJ coming home in P4 for Team Germany. In their charge with unsafe release. Very solid P5. Team United Kingdom driver. Pagani is just going to fend off Aaron's late charge. That early pit stop has not worked out for him. He just holds on to the line for P6 with Aaron P7 for Team United Kingdom. So all 3 Team United Kingdom cars in the top 7. Good points for them this week. For 8th, 9th and 10th has closed up. Ron will see it home in P8, switchback P9 for Team Japan, and rounding off the top 10 is last week's winner, Blue Flag, for Team Germany. P11 will be Team USA driver Diluk. Had a bit of a lonely race. Comes around the final corner, and he will take home a couple of points for Team USA. And our final finisher this week, well, is Ross. Ross has already crossed the line. The last one to cross the line, though, will be Junkie Sport. He will take home the final point. Team France, he's run out. No, he hasn't run out of fuel. Why is he? No, they're going in the pits. What are you doing, Carl? Carl's doing some celebratory donuts. Maybe because he couldn't get to do them after winning the GT2 race last Thursday. He comes across the line and takes home the final point for Team France. So there we have it then. 32 laps, and it is Team United Kingdom who pick up their first victory of the Nations Cup. Great drive there from Iggy. Fantastic battle between him and T. Smith for much of that race. Frome getting in on the act at the end there as well. Can never count out Flying Frome. So there we have it then, round 4 in the book, and Team United Kingdom become the third different winner of this season. And a titanic battle there between the top 3, resulting in Team United Kingdom's first win. With Team Japan and Team France also on the podium. So next week is round 5 of the championship, and Team France will be picking up double points because it is their home round, and it is coming from the Circuit de la Sarthe, also known as Le Mans. So do tune in for that. Of course, it is not the end of the FTRL action for this week. In fact, this is just the beginning. So tomorrow night it is the penultimate week of season 13 of the Formula 1 Championship. Races coming to you firstly from Albert Park, Melbourne, Australia, and the second race from the legendary Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Then on Thursday it is GT2's turn to come back onto screen. Races this week from Lago Maggiore, West, and back at Le Mans as well for the Group 3 race, before it is wet week in GT1. First race of the Group 4s is from Spa-Francorchamps, so 2 helpings of the legendary Spa circuit this week, one in F1 and one in GT Sport. And the second race is from the circuit we have just watched our drivers go around, Red Bull Ring, for the Group 3 race. So do tune in for the rest of the week, 8 o'clock, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, for all of your FTRL sim racing action. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show the guys put on, and we are back tomorrow at 8 o'clock for F1, so we will see you all then. Thank you very much for joining us, and good night.